All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rekakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful that got there pushing this word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. All right, and what I want to get into this morning, all right, is the glory after the storm. All right, the glory after the storm. Because as we're, being told one thing about prophecy, it gives us the insight of what's to come. All right, and we know we're coming into a time like never before. The scriptures describe, the end of Esau's kingdom being a time like never before since the earth was. Okay, and we're going to be in the midst of it. Okay, but through faith, man, we believe that our power, okay, is going to intervene, and carry us through these times, man, leading us, all the way to salvation, man, even in death. Okay, death doesn't separate the elect from salvation, from deliverance, from being on the chariots, man. Okay, so we're coming into times like never before, but then we're coming into a glory like never before. The elect of Israel is coming into a glory like never before. You see, because we're coming to a time of great punishment and a time of great glory. Okay, and Lord will we endure, and that's why I want to start off with this Matthew 24. Okay, in 13 it says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And what do we have to endure? Okay, it's tribulation, the straight gate, because we're going to be tested, man. But we're in the time of punishment and we're in the time of miracles, man. You see, the times to come is going to be a punishment for 2/3, but then it's going to be a time of miracles, okay, and divine power, all right, for the 1/3, man. Because it's going to take miracles to survive the times we're coming into. You're not going to be able to prep your way out, okay? There's no military solution to the problem that we're in, okay? All right? Not going to be able to, ride it out. You see, playing for every scenario that's going to happen. Nah, man, it's going to take miracles, man. It's going to take the power of Yahweh Bashim Shah to intervene on behalf, okay, of the elect in these last days. And that's why when you go ahead to Luke, because this grace period was for us to build our faith and our power, to be unmovable in these times, man, that we're coming into. You see, when you get to the book of Luke chapter 6, verse, I started at 46, and it says, and why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Because you have, of course, the church, all right, the Christian church, okay? They don't have a clue what's going on. They sing all these songs and, put on this show as if they're about the scriptures, they're about the Bible. But when you go into the obedience of the scriptures, man, Christians ain't about that, man. The discipline that comes with serving the Lord, the Christian ain't about that, man. These false camps, okay? They're set up, to set Jacob up for failure, man. To have an appearance of righteousness, man, but really not submit to the obedience and the will of Yahweh Bashim Shah, man. So it's going to be a lot of our people that set up for failure that think they in a good case, man. Okay, because through faith and obedience, man, we're building, on Yahweh Shah. Okay, we're building on the sure foundation, which is Yahweh Shah, and that's the only thing that's going to be sure, okay, in this storm is Yahweh Shah, man. Everything else is finna fail, can collapse. Okay? You an Israelite coming in the name of Christ, you finna collapse, man. That shit finna collapse. We finna see a lot of things collapse, when that storm really setting in the earth, man. When judgment really settle in the earth, man. When you go to the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 47 says, whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like, man. So this, what we're doing in this grace period, the Lord has given us the ability, man, to serve him, to be obedient, man, to continue to make adjustments, work on ourselves, man. Examine ourselves, man. Okay, and getting closer to our power, being in good standings with our power, man. The elect are going to be in good standings with Yahweh Bashim Shai when the storm comes, man. Okay, when it really get bad out here, man. There's a remnant that's going to have a solid relationship with their power. Okay? But if you still got a Western mindset, okay, you ain't changed, you ain't truly repented, you're not truly born again, okay, you're not building on Yahweh Shai. You see, if you really don't have faith, all right, and Yahweh Shai ushering in a new kingdom and replacing this kingdom, man, you see, if you really don't believe in that, man, there's no way that you're built on Yahweh Shai, man. We got to be to the point, I said, we're all right, ready to die if need be, man, for Yahweh Shai. Okay? The testimony of Yahweh Shai, man. You see, going to us being unmovable, and we're being made unmovable now, man. Okay? Verse 48, it says, he is like a man which built an house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock, which is Yahweh Shai. And it says the way he dig deep, man. Okay? Rooted. You see? Rooted in the doctrine, man. Rooted in the gospel, the good news through faith, man. Okay? And it says, and when the flood arose, which is coming, Jacob's trouble, civil unrest, okay, the famine, mass famines. You see the pestilence, man, the war's going to escalate, man. These times are coming, man. Okay? Esau, persecuting the prophets, man. All this coming. Esau finna throw everything he got to try to pull off this new world order. He has everything to lose. Okay, a madman with everything to lose, man. The Lord gonna have him on that time, man, because he's gonna be a tool of judgment. Okay? Because Jacob's trouble is gonna be the Lord putting the spirit on Esau to get at Jacob, man. Okay, in 2/3 he's gonna have his way. Okay, well there's a remnant. The Lord promised a standard when this devil shall come in like a flood. Okay? It says, and when the flood arose, the screen beat vehemently upon the house, and he could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock, man. So those that are truly rooted in Yahweh Shai are going to be unshakable in these times. The Lord will put his spirit on us to where we're not shook. Okay? Because what the Lord say. Let's get that in prophecy, man. See, we have this sure word of prophecy, man, to stand on in these times. And the Lord going to do it. He's going to do it, man. Okay? These are not suggestions. These are promises by Yahweh Bashim Shai. Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. From the west, you see that? And the spirit that say from the west, he mentioned in the west, we're in the western hemisphere. And his glory from the rising of the sun, which is in the east. So throughout the whole world, okay, the Lord is finna show power, man. You see, and mainly here in America. And it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So the flood is going to be the enemy Esau. Okay, and in this flood, he's going to sweep away 2/3. He's going to wash away. He's going to overwhelm. Okay, Jacob's going to be drowning in judgment, man. Okay, when the Lord turned Esau loose like a flood. But for the remnant, the Lord's going to show power. That's why I say it's going to be a standard lifted, man. Against the enemy, against Esau, man. Okay, so even in the midst of the storm, I say the Lord going to work a mighty work, man. He's going to work a miracle, man. Like we ain't nothing short of a miracle is going to get us out of here, man. And they're already lined up, It's already appointed. The spiritual power is already appointed, man. And it's going to come, all right, when it's needed. You see? So, going back here to Matthew. Luke. Yeah, Luke chapter 6. Okay? But we want to be rooted in Yahweh Shai, man, through faith. Okay. And then 49. And let's go to the other side. It said, but he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built an house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. Okay? And the ruin of that house was great. All right? And what we're going to see is a lot of Israelites has been playing. Okay? Not serious. Not born again, here for, to be a part of something, hang out. Okay? You guys, you Israelites are just here to hang out. Okay? And to play dress up. Okay? But you're not really sincere. You really don't believe. Okay? You don't listen to a goddamn thing. You still moving how you want to move. Well, listen, you're finna collapse in this time. Okay? You're gonna collapse when that pressure really hit, man. You see, because you're not rooted in anything. You see, you above ground Israelite, man. You don't have any roots in Yahushua, man. Okay, and it's gonna show. One thing about it, during this time, man, no one's gonna be able to fake and pretend and finesse their way to the kingdom. Nah, man, it's gonna have to be authentic, man. Okay, and the Lord gonna test the authenticity, okay, of faith in these times, man. Okay, this is Jeremiah 30 and 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that there is none like it, a time like never before. A time that you can't compare with any other time. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he, a remnant, shall be saved out of it. Those that's built and rooted in Yahushua. Okay? Because Jacob's trouble is on the way. All right? Little things that we're seeing in Gary, Indiana, this the devil, all right, gearing up to go with his move, man. It ain't no coincidence that these Jake, cities and towns, okay, that are being targeted, okay, in these lights out events. There's even talks about, Memphis having outages now. Gotta look more into it, man. But there's no coincidence that they're targeting, all right, these highly concentrated, Jake population, man. Okay, Esau is gearing up for JT, man. Jacob's trouble. Okay, but in the midst of Jacob's trouble, said he shall be saved out of it. The Lord gonna be showing power for the remnant in the midst of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, said, for it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck and burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves on him. Yeah, so this is the end of our captivity, man. There's a glory beyond the tribulation. There's a glory beyond the storm. No, this is the Lord getting ready to break this devil's yoke off us, man. Reading NLT said, for in that day, said the Lord of heaven's armies, I will break the yoke from your necks and snap their chains. Foreigners will no longer be, all right, their masters, man. And the Lord's finna break this system, because we don't have, the physical chains on like chattel slavery. Okay, but this system is a chain itself, man. We're chained to these bills. Okay, chained to this, this economy. Okay, subjugated to a lot of things in this society, man. Okay, but the Lord is finna come break this whole system up, man. Okay, he's finna break this system of oppression. This is the end of our captivity. So as we come into tribulation, well, this is a great trend. This is the Lord making a transition from the kingdom of Esau to the kingdom of Jacob, the kingdom of Israel, man. Headed by Yahushua. Verse 9, it says, but they shall serve the Lord their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. That government, that righteous government, which Yahushua is going to be the head, with King David, under Yahushua. Okay, but they're speaking of what? Yahushua sitting on the throne of David. Okay, that's Mount Zion, man. Yahushua, King David, the rest of the apostles. Okay, the rest of the first fruit, 144,000. You see, every man in that order, it's going to be that righteous government, man. That's the glory beyond the tribulation, because it wasn't speaking about tribulation to the righteous government, man. You see? So there's a glory beyond, the things that we're getting ready to go through. Verse 10 said, therefore, fear not, O my servant Jacob. We're commanded not to fear. Okay? If you're not rooted in Yahushua, well, this is going to be a terrible time. But those in Yahushua, no, we have nothing to fear. Lord will we endure, man. Going to the first precept, we have to endure these times. We have to be unmovable, unshakable, man. Okay, in the middle of the storm. Okay, it said, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, said the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid, man. Okay, and that's going to be our condition forever. It's going to be an everlasting rest, man. Okay, no more worried about going to captivity. We're going to have those perfect bodies, which is going to have us in good standings and favor with our power forever, man. You see, we're going to be good, man. Okay, so the Lord got this thing, worked out, man. There's a glory, beyond the storm. But the storm is on the way. Okay, and as I say, it's going to be a chastisement for 2/3. Okay, but then it's going to be miracles for the hopeful elect. So Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you few sisters will edify once again and give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.